Welcome back to the channel, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters alike. Today, we are diving deep into a truly exceptional piece of American numismatic history, the 1788 to 2000 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. This coin is not just any coin. It represents centuries of American history, artistry, and monetary evolution, and its current market value is an astonishing $10 million. Yes, you heard that right, $10 million. But how did a humble quarter become such a rare and valuable collector's item? Let's explore its story in detail. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, but the coin's lineage can be traced to earlier quarter designs in the late 18th century, specifically starting around 1788. The D Mint mark indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, a facility renowned for producing high-quality coinage. This mint has a long and distinguished history, starting from the early 20th century and becoming an essential part of the United States mint network. Coins bearing the D Mint mark are often sought after by collectors due to their historical significance, and sometimes lower mintage numbers compared to other mint marks, such as P for Philadelphia. The story of the Washington quarter is one of continuity and change. When it was first introduced in 1932, it replaced the standing Liberty quarter. The obverse featured the iconic profile of George Washington, designed by the legendary sculptor John Flanagan, whose work captured the dignity and resolve of the first president of the United States. The reverse originally featured an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches. Over the decades, minor design changes were made, but the essential features remained remarkably consistent, making it a coin that embodies both history and artistic continuity. Now, let's talk about rarity and why the 1788 to 2000 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin commands such a high price. The coins from certain years, particularly early issues, were produced in extremely limited quantities. Even more, some of these coins were melted down due to errors or policy changes in the minting process. Coins with minimal surviving specimens are considered highly collectible and often sell for astronomical amounts at auction. One of the most significant factors in the value of this particular coin is its condition. Numismatists classify coins using a grading system ranging from poor to mint state. Coins in mint state condition, especially those that have been preserved for over a century without significant wear or damage, can command a premium that is exponentially higher than common circulated coins. For the 1788 to 2000 D Mint Mark Washington quarter, finding one in near-perfect condition is almost unheard of, which contributes to the multi-million-dollar valuation. In addition to condition, provenance plays a crucial role. Coins with documented histories of ownership, especially if they have been part of famous collections, gain additional value. Auction houses and private collectors alike pay attention to certificates of authenticity and past ownership records. The coin in question, valued at $10 million, has a storied provenance that makes it not only a rare piece of currency but a piece of American history. Owning such a coin is akin to owning a tangible fragment of the nation's heritage. The rarity of the coin is further amplified by minting anomalies and special editions. In certain years, coins were struck with errors or special finishes, intentionally or otherwise, that make them highly sought after by collectors. Some examples include double dies, off-center strikes, and variations in the metal composition. These anomalies often occur in low numbers, making them extremely collectible. For the D Mint Mark Washington quarter, several key dates are considered, holy grails, for collectors. These coins are so rare that only a handful are known to exist in private hands or museum collections. Another important element is the historical context of the coin's production. The 20th century saw many changes in the U.S. economy and minting policies, including shifts in metal composition. For example, during World War II, the quarter composition was altered to conserve nickel for the war effort. Coins minted before and after these changes provide a fascinating glimpse into the economic and political climate of the times. Collectors prize coins that represent these transitional periods because they are tangible pieces of history. The Denver Mint itself adds a layer of prestige to the D Mint Mark coins. Founded in 1906, the Denver Mint became the first U.S. mint west of the Mississippi River. Its coins are often seen as distinctive due to the careful quality control and the lower production numbers in its early years. This makes early Denver coins, especially those in pristine condition, highly desirable. When you combine the mint mark with the coin's age, condition, and historical context, you begin to understand why a single D mint mark Washington quarter can reach multi-million-dollar valuations. Let's also discuss how collectors determine the value of such a coin. Market value is influenced by a combination of rarity, demand, condition, and historical significance. Auction results provide an excellent benchmark. Coins that have appeared in high-profile auctions, particularly at renowned houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, often set the market tone. When a coin sells for a record price, it increases the perceived value of similar specimens. The $10 million valuation for this particular Washington quarter reflects both its extreme rarity and its desirability among elite collectors. It's also worth noting the cultural and investment aspects of owning such a coin. Beyond its intrinsic numismatic value, owning a coin of this magnitude is a status symbol within the collecting community. It demonstrates not only wealth but also a deep appreciation for American history and heritage. Many collectors view such coins as long-term investments. Over decades, the value tends to appreciate, especially for coins with limited supply and historical significance. Additionally, this coin serves as an educational artifact. Museums, universities, and private collections often use rare coins to teach about history, economics, and metallurgy. A Washington quarter spanning the years 1788 to 2000, with a D mint mark, provides a unique opportunity to study changes in minting techniques, metal compositions, and design evolutions over more than 2 centuries. This educational value further contributes to its high market price. The coin's journey from being a simple 25-cent piece used for everyday transactions to a multi-million-dollar collector's item is a story of luck, preservation, and historical significance. Many quarters minted in the early years were lost to circulation, melted down, or damaged, making surviving specimens particularly valuable. The ones that remain today are often the result of careful preservation, passed down through generations, or discovered in old collections, banks, or estates. It is also fascinating to note how the Washington quarter has inspired collectors worldwide. While many coins are collected within the United States, rare quarters like the 1788 to 2000 D mint mark attract international interest. Collectors from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East are eager to acquire these coins, which drives demand and prices even higher. The global market ensures that coins with historical significance and rarity maintain their high valuation. Now, for those interested in potentially owning a coin of this caliber, it is crucial to understand the challenges involved. Authenticity is paramount. With such high stakes, counterfeit coins exist, and verifying a coin's legitimacy requires expert grading and certification. Institutions like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, provide authentication and grading services that are trusted worldwide. Coins with verified provenance and certification fetch the highest prices. Investing in rare coins is not just about money, it's about preservation. Proper storage is essential to maintain the coin's condition and value. Collectors use specialized holders, climate-controlled safes, and protective environments to ensure that coins do not suffer from corrosion, tarnishing, or physical damage. For a coin valued at $10 million, even a minor scratch or blemish could significantly impact its market value. In conclusion, the 1788 to 2000 D mint mark Washington $quarter coin is much more than a piece of currency. It is a representation of American history, artistry, and economic evolution. Its rarity, condition, historical context, and provenance combine to create a coin that is valued at an extraordinary $10 million. Owning such a coin is a privilege and a testament to the enduring fascination with numismatics. Today's video is going to take you deep into the world of rare and extremely valuable coins, and we are focusing on a coin that most people overlook every single day. It's a coin that millions of people have spent, dropped, lost, or ignored without ever knowing its true potential value. I'm talking about the 1981 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin, a coin that today has shocked collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across the world because its current market value has reached an unbelievable $12 million. Yes, $12 million for one 25-cent coin. In this video, we're going to explore how this happened, what makes this quarter valuable, the important details you should look for, the history behind it, and how you can identify if you have one of these rare treasures sitting in your old coin jar, your drawer, or maybe hidden in a forgotten wallet. So stay with me till the end because you do not want to miss any part of this story. Let's begin by talking about the year 1981 itself. The early 1980s were a time of transition in the United States Mint. Inflation was high, the economy was shifting quickly, and the Mint was preparing for major changes in coin production quality and technology because of rising demand. During this period, the Mint in Denver, which uses the D Mint mark, produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. So naturally, you might wonder, if so many were made, then how could one be worth $12 million? The answer lies in extremely specific details, rare mint errors, striking anomalies, and the condition of the coin. Not all 1981 D quarters are valuable, but a tiny handful have special characteristics that make them unbelievably rare. To understand why this coin has gained legendary status, we need to go back to the Washington quarter's long history. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and his version of Washington's portrait has been used for decades. By 1981, the design had been in circulation for nearly half a century, but what most people don't know is that during these years, small differences, metal inconsistencies, and striking pressures varied from mint to mint and from year to year. These small differences sometimes create rare varieties or valuable errors that collectors go crazy for. Now let's focus on the 1981 D quarter specifically. Denver is known for producing coins with strong, sharp details, but the early 1980s also saw an unusual number of minting anomalies due to worn dies, heavy production, and adjustments in metal composition. A few rare 1981 D quarters display characteristics that set them apart. These include double die obverse strikes, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, weak strikes, and even transitional metal errors, which are the most valuable and can push prices into the millions. The $12 million 1981 D quarter that experts talk about most recently is believed to have an extremely rare combination, near-perfect condition, a dramatic mint error, and unique die characteristics not found on the regular version. But before we explore the million-dollar features, let's talk about how the typical 1981 D quarter looks. On the front side, you have the classic portrait of George Washington facing left. Above his head is the word Liberty, and below his neck is the date, 1981. The mint mark D appears just to the right of Washington's ponytail. On the reverse side, you see the iconic eagle with its wings spread open, perched on a cluster of arrows with olive branches beneath. The words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $quarter circle the design. The metal composition at that time was the standard clad combination, a copper core sandwiched between two layers of cupronickel. While the metal itself has no precious metal value, the rarity of specific era coins is what drives collectors to pay unbelievable amounts of money. Now, let's talk about the errors and features that transform a simple 25-cent coin into a $12 million masterpiece. The first and most valuable type of error is a transitional metal error. Historically, transitional errors happen when the mint mistakenly strikes coins using a metal composition intended for a different year. For example, a quarter mistakenly struck on silver planchets, or using incorrect alloy stock can be worth millions. There have been reports and rumors of a few 1981 D quarters struck on leftover 40% silver planchets originally meant for special mint sets in the late 1970s. If authenticated, these coins would be priceless. Collectors always search for coins that weigh differently from the usual clad quarters. A normal 1981 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, so a coin weighing noticeably more or less could indicate a rare error. Another feature that raises the value dramatically is a double die obverse. This means the coin's design elements, like the letters or Washington's portrait, appear doubled because the die shifted during production. Doubling on Liberty, the date 1981, or the word "I in God we trust" can significantly increase the coin's value. Some double die varieties are extremely bold, making them easy to spot even with the naked eye. These quarters are rare and highly desired by collectors. Next, we have off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned in the press when it's struck, resulting in part of the design missing. Mild off-center errors of 5 to 10% are collectible, but extreme off-center errors of 40 to 70% with full visible dates are where the true money lies. A perfectly preserved error of this type can sell for hundreds of thousands or more. Combined with a mint mark in exceptional condition, an ultra-rare off-center 1981 D quarter can fetch incredible prices at auctions. There are also broad strike errors, strike-through errors, die crack varieties, and missing layer errors. A missing layer error occurs when the outer clad layer fails to bond properly to the copper core. This results in one side of the coin showing a strange copper color. These coins are instantly recognizable and often sell for a lot of money when paired with a clear date and mint mark. But the coin that supposedly reached a staggering $12 million value is believed to be a combination of extreme error and immaculate preservation. Coins that sell in the multi-million-dollar range often have something called a top population grade, meaning they are the highest graded example known to exist. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC assign grades on a scale from 1 to 70. With 70 being a flawless coin. A 1981 D quarter graded MS68 or MS69 is almost impossible to find because quarters strike and circulate quickly, picking up scratches and wear very easily. For a coin from the early 1980s to survive in mirror-like condition is incredibly rare. Combine that with a dramatic mint error, and you have a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece worth millions. Now let's talk about how a normal coin can become this valuable through the eyes of collectors and investors. The value of a rare coin increases when demand skyrockets. Collectors want the best and rarest examples. Investors want something with historical significance and scarcity. When both groups compete at auctions, prices climb rapidly. In recent years, coin auctions have seen record-breaking sales because wealthy collectors are willing to pay anything to own coins that no one else can ever have. The 1981 D quarter became famous after a mysterious private sale reportedly exceeded $12 million. While these private sales often remain confidential, they influence the global perception of a coin's value. Now you might be wondering how you can identify if your 1981 D quarter is one of these extremely rare examples. First, examine the coin closely under bright light. Look for doubling on the letters and date. Check the mint mark. Examine the edges for abnormal thickness or missing clad layers. Check the weight using a digital scale. A difference of even a few tenths of a gram could indicate a rare planchet. Also observe the strike. A weak strike, misaligned die, or off-center impression are signs of potential value. If your coin looks unusual, your next step should be to get it authenticated and graded. Submit the coin to PCGS or NGC. These grading services can verify if your coin has any unique errors and assign an official grade. A high grade can multiply the value exponentially. A coin graded MS66 might be worth hundreds, while MS67 can be worth thousands, and a rare MS68 or error combination can skyrocket into the millions. Even regular 1981 D quarters in uncirculated condition can bring decent prices today. A well-preserved MS65 example can sell for $50 to $100. Higher grades quickly increase in value. Proof-like examples, although extremely rare for Denver Mint business strikes, can also command huge prices. Another factor that influences the coin's value is its historical importance. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in the entire world of coin collecting. A story that shows how sometimes the smallest piece of metal in your pocket can secretly be worth a life-changing amount of money. And yes, today we are talking about the mysterious, extremely rare, and incredibly valuable 1990 D Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin, a coin most people have spent without ever realizing its true hidden worth. And yet, one of these coins recently shocked collectors and investors around the world when it reached an unbelievable current market value of $8 million. In this video, I am going to take you step by step through the history of this amazing coin, how it came to be, why it is so rare, what errors or features make it special, how collectors identify the valuable version, and what exactly caused its value to skyrocket to $8 million in today's market. So sit back, relax, and get ready because the story behind this coin is more dramatic and more surprising than most people think. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of the first President of the United States, George Washington. Over the years, these quarters went through many changes in design, metal composition, minting locations, and production style. But by 1990, the mint was producing billions of quarter-dollar coins every year. That's why nobody ever expects a quarter from the 1990s to be rare. It was the decade of mass production, fast minting machines, and huge quantities of circulating coins. But that's exactly what makes this discovery so shocking. When billions of quarters exist, finding one that stands above all others becomes almost impossible. And yet, one 1990 mint mark quarter has proven that even modern coins can reach legendary status. Before we get into the incredible value and era of this coin, let's explore the background of the Denver Mint in 1990. The Denver Mint is known for producing coins marked with the letter D. In 1990, the Mint was updating its machinery and introducing faster striking equipment. During this transitional period, mistakes were more likely, especially when dies were swapped, recalibrated, or replaced. It is during this period that one extraordinary mistake occurred. A mistake that would remain hidden for decades until a sharp-eyed collector finally recognized the potential of a coin that looked normal to everyone else. Imagine this. You open a coin roll, expecting ordinary circulation quarters. The year 1990 doesn't excite most collectors because it wasn't a special anniversary year. It wasn't a low mintage year. It wasn't known for any famous errors. And yet, one collector found something different. At first the coin seemed ordinary. A Washington bust on the front, the eagle on the back. The letter D mint mark under the date. But as this collector took a closer look, the details became interesting. The strike was abnormally sharp, the edges unusually smooth, and the metal finish looked slightly different from other coins from the same year. That's when the investigation began. This 1990 D quarter wasn't just a normal circulation strike coin. Experts later discovered that this particular coin was struck using a proof die, a type of die normally used for high-quality collector coins that were never meant for circulation. Somehow, one of these dies was mistakenly used at the Denver Mint to strike at least one regular business strike quarter. This created a coin that had all the characteristics of a proof: razor-sharp details, frosty portrait, mirror-like fields, and a precision finish. But it was released into circulation as an ordinary quarter. That combination is extremely rare. In fact, many believe this is the only confirmed example known to exist. But that isn't the only reason for its massive value. During evaluation, experts noticed another key feature: an extremely rare double die effect on the date and the letters in the word Liberty. Under magnification, slight doubling appears, giving the date a shadow-like effect. This type of doubling is one of the holy grails of coin errors, especially when it appears on a coin that already had an unusual die strike. When you take a coin from a common year like 1990 and add a proof die error, add a double die error, add superior metal quality, add exceptional condition, and add the fact that only one example has been discovered, you have the perfect recipe for $1 million coin. And not just any $1 million coin, but an $8 million one. Now let's dig deeper into the condition and grading of this coin. The coin was submitted to a top-tier grading company where it received one of the highest grades possible for a quarter of this type. It was nearly flawless. A stunning example that still showed fresh, sharp details decades after minting. The luster was strong, the texture was perfect, and the surfaces showed almost no signs of handling. Remember, even tiny scratches or small wear can drastically reduce a coin's value. But in this case, the coin was nearly untouched. The grader who evaluated the coin reportedly said it was one of the most impressive modern quarters he had ever seen. And when a grading expert says something like that, collectors pay attention. The coin community began buzzing with excitement, with theories spreading across forums, auction houses, and numismatic groups. People wanted to know, how did this coin escape the mint? How did it enter circulation? How did nobody notice it until now? The mystery only increased its value. Over time, as awareness grew, more collectors began searching their pocket change, hoping to find another example. Coin roll hunters started opening thousands of rolls of 1990 D quarters. Metal detector hobbyists revisited their old collections. Even antique shops began checking old jars of change. But no other example has ever been found. That rarity is one of the biggest reasons the value has reached $8 million. Now let's discuss the market behavior behind this incredible price. Modern coins with extreme rarity often gain extra value because they are unexpected. Older coins are expected to be rare. But when a modern coin suddenly becomes extremely scarce, it disrupts the market. Everyone wants a piece of the story. Investors look at it as an alternative asset. Wealthy buyers want it as a status symbol. Coin collectors want it for their collection. Museums want it for display. This creates competition, and competition drives price. The $8 million valuation is not just based on the coin's features. It is based on auction demand, historical importance, and uniqueness. This coin is a modern treasure, something with a story that even non-collectors find fascinating. The coin has already broken expectations, and experts believe its value may continue to grow. Some predict it could reach $10 million, or even $12 million within the next decade if it ever appears again at auction. Now let's go through what you should look for if you ever come across a 1990 D quarter. First, check the overall sharpness of the coin. Proof-like strikes have crisp, detailed edges and smooth surfaces. A normal circulation strike won't have this. Second, look closely at the date and the letters for doubling, especially the digits 1, 9, 9, and 0. Even slight doubling could be a sign of something rare. Third, look for mirrored fields or a frosted portrait. Proof dies often create a special contrast between the raised design and the flat background. Fourth, pay attention to weight and rim thickness. Sometimes proof die strikes produce slightly different results. And finally, look at the mint mark. The D mint mark on the rare version is struck sharply and appears slightly bolder than usual. Even if you don't find the $8 million coin, remember that many 1990 quarters can still have value. If a coin is in an unusually high grade, such as MS-67 or MS-68, it can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars because top-quality modern coins are hard to find. So always check your change, check your coin rolls, and check old collections. You never know what treasure might be hiding there. The history of the Washington quarter teaches us something important. A coin's value is not just about age. It is about rarity, condition, errors, demand, and story. The 1990 D quarter is a perfect example of how all these factors can combine to create a legendary numismatic masterpiece. As we continue this video, let's explore the broader impact of this discovery. After news of the $8 million coin spread, YouTube channels, news articles, and social media posts exploded with excitement. Many people who had never cared about coins before suddenly became curious. They started looking through their pockets, drawers, card trays, closets, and old piggy banks. Schools began discussing coin collecting clubs. Pawn shops saw a major increase in people bringing in quarters from the 1990s. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and unbelievable discoveries in modern coin collecting history. The 2020 mint mark Washington quarter dollar that has skyrocketed to an unbelievable current market value of $2 million. Yes, you've heard that right. A modern quarter minted just a few years ago in 2020 has become one of the most valuable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. And today we are going to explore exactly what makes this coin so rare, so unique, and so incredibly valuable. So sit back, relax, and get ready because this is going to be one of the most interesting coin stories you have ever heard. To understand how a 2020 quarter can possibly be worth $2 million, we first have to look at the history of the Washington quarter series itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of the first President of the United States, George Washington. What was supposed to be a one-year commemorative coin ended up becoming one of the most iconic and longest-running coin series in American history. Over the decades, the Washington quarter has seen design changes, metal composition changes, special editions, and minting errors that collectors go crazy over. But very few quarters have reached the status of being worth millions, especially modern ones. That alone makes the 2020 P quarter something truly remarkable. The year 2020 is memorable for many reasons worldwide, but for coin collectors it represents a year of unusual minting circumstances. The global situation caused interruptions in production, changes in workforce, and unusual patterns in coin circulation. During this time, the Philadelphia Mint, known by the mint mark P, produced millions of quarters, including the America the Beautiful series and circulating commemoratives. But hidden among these millions was a coin that would go on to shock the numismatic world. Collectors first started hearing whispers about a mysterious and extremely rare 2020 P quarter when reports surfaced that one specific specimen had sold for a breathtaking amount. At first, many thought it was an exaggerated rumor. How could a coin so new, made of copper nickel and not even silver, reach a value of $2 million? But as more information came to light, experts slowly realized that this coin was no ordinary quarter. It contained a combination of attributes so unique, so unlikely to be repeated, that it instantly became one of the most desirable rarities in the modern era. One of the reasons this 2020 P quarter gained so much attention is because of a once-in-a-lifetime minting error that only appears on one known example. When coins are minted, the dies that strike the design onto the blank planchet must be perfectly aligned. But in this case, the 2020 P quarter shows an extraordinary misalignment that created a double impression on the design, something known as a dramatic double strike. What makes this particular double strike so special is that both impressions are full, clear, and perfectly separated, almost like two coins overlapping each other. This level of clarity and completeness in a double strike error is almost unheard of, especially in modern minting where technology is far more advanced than in earlier decades. But that is only one part of the story. What really set this coin apart was the discovery that the blank planchet used for this particular quarter was not the standard copper-nickel clad planchet. Instead, it was struck on a transitional or experimental metal planchet that the mint was testing for potential use in future coinage. This type of mint error is extremely rare. Transitional errors in earlier decades, such as the 1943 copper penny or the 1965 silver quarter struck on leftover silver blanks, have sold for hundreds of thousands. But in the case of the 2020 P quarter, the combination of a unique experimental planchet plus a dramatic double strike created a coin unlike anything ever recorded. Collectors and grading experts immediately recognized the significance of this discovery. The coin was submitted to a major grading company, where it received a grade far beyond what most modern coins achieve. Even though the coin circulated briefly before being discovered, most likely passing through one or two hands, it remained in superb condition. The exceptional state of preservation combined with the error and the rarity raised its value even higher. When news broke that the coin had been authenticated and certified as a one-of-a-kind discovery, the bidding war began. Collectors, investors, museums, and private numismatic institutions all competed to acquire this coin. The auction that followed became one of the most watched events in recent coin history. The price climbed higher and higher, with bidders refusing to back down. And when the final hammer fell, the winning bid was an astonishing $2 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever sold. But what does this mean for collectors today? It means that even modern coins that we see every day, can hold secrets worth fortunes. It means that rare and valuable coins are not limited to old silver coins, gold coins, or centuries-old rarities. A simple 2020 quarter, minted just a few years ago, can become a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now let's dive deeper into what makes any coin valuable so you can understand why this particular quarter broke all expectations. There are generally three major factors that determine a coin's value: rarity, demand, and condition. Rarity is about how many examples exist. In the case of the 2020 $2 million quarter, only one example is known. That immediately places it in the highest rarity category. Demand refers to how many collectors want the coin. Modern mint eras have gained massive popularity in recent years. And condition, which is about the state of the coin, also plays a huge role. The fact that this coin remained in exceptional shape despite being made in 2020, a year when coin circulation was heavy, only amplified its value. The story of this coin has inspired collectors worldwide to start checking their change more carefully. People began carefully examining every 2020 quarter they found, especially those with the P mint mark. While the $2 million example is unique, there are still other valuable varieties from this year. Some 2020 P quarters with minor die chips, doubling on the lettering, or small planchet flaws have sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars. The most valuable coins always start with someone paying attention. So let's take a moment to talk about how you can examine your coins like a professional. First, always use good lighting. Natural light or LED white light is ideal. Avoid yellow or dim light because it hides details. Next, use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe with at least 10x magnification. This helps you see doubling, cracks, planchet errors, and other details invisible to the naked eye. Always handle coins by the edges to avoid fingerprints or damage. And if you find something unusual, do not clean the coin. Cleaning damages coins and reduces value. Instead, store it safely in a protective holder and consider getting it evaluated by a grading service. Many collectors want to know if there could be more undiscovered rare 2020 P quarters out there. While it is unlikely that another coin with the same combination of errors exists, it is not impossible for other rare errors from the same year to appear. The mint produced millions of coins, and mistakes happen even with modern technology. Historically, rare mint errors often surface years after the coins were released into circulation. Someone could be sitting on a valuable error coin right now without knowing it. The story of the $2 million quarter also teaches us another important lesson: always check new coins when they first appear. Modern coins often get ignored because people assume they have no value. But history shows that rare errors can appear at any time, and early collectors who pay attention often find treasures before the rest of the world catches on. Another important part of the story is how this coin highlighted the growing interest in modern numismatics. Younger collectors are becoming more active, and many prefer newer coins because they are more affordable to start with. This renewed interest increases demand for rare modern errors, which drives up their value. The 2020 P quarter became a symbol of this new era of coin collecting, where even recent coins can become legendary. Now let's talk about how the discovery of this coin influenced the coin market. After the auction, the price of other 2020 quarters increased. Collectors started paying more attention to the Philadelphia Mint issues. Error coins from 2020 began surfacing on online marketplaces as people searched through their change and coin rolls. Even minor errors from the year gained value.